A quick hitting snowstorm is on the way, and this will bring many areas their first accumulating snow of the season. We'll go over the timeline of this first, and then we'll speak on how much snow your neck of the woods can end up seeing from this storm system. After that, we'll move deeper into next week and just into the month of December and try to figure out what's next. Is there any other storm systems we're watching, time frames that we need to keep an eye on? We'll go over all that and just geek out with you guys, explain the pattern, and have a whole lot of fun doing it because I think everybody knows I love talking on winter weather. So my name is Mitch. Good Thursday evening. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything I can pray about or pray over, please drop it in the comments below. Let's take a look at current conditions first. I'm making this video, recording it as of around 6:15 Eastern time. So we do got some snow flying around out there. And even though it shows blue, which is supposed to be snow, all this isn't falling as actual snow. We got some sleet mixing with some snow, mixing with some rain, especially the further south you get in Middle Tennessee. But let me know what your neck of the woods is seeing. We got some moisture moving up into Kentucky, definitely more deeper cold air up here. So this is probably wherever it's hitting the ground, falling in the form of snow. Shows some moisture entering Southwest Virginia. Not sure what's actually hitting the ground as of right this second, but this is our storm system. Okay, this is the moisture. You can see areas of yellow. So we do have some heavier precipitation with this. So if this can come up and hit the cold air in place up here, we're going to have some heavy wet snow. So this is current conditions, the live radar. The latest as far as watches, warnings, and advisories, well, there really isn't any warnings out there. You know, I mentioned that there's some areas that could get upgraded to winter storm warnings. As of right now, we don't have that. And, you know, I was saying earlier this morning, I thought that we would get some winter weather advisories in Nashville, maybe points north, but right now we don't have that. These bluish kind of green areas, these are just special weather statements for a wintry mix, which is ongoing right now. But this is the core of the system right here that's on the way. Winter weather advisories drop all the way down here to just south of Asheville, all the way up through the Boone, Banner, Elk area. It does include now northern areas of North Carolina, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, the Durham area, Raleigh. You guys do not have a winter weather advisory. It does include Petersburg up to Roanoke, Richmond, my bad, Roanoke's over here, Lynchburg, Charlottesville, and we now have winter weather advisories up here into Baltimore. You know, Washington, D.C., into southern areas of Maryland, you know, the Tidewater, Delmarva area. Technically in Delaware, there's no winter weather advisories as of right now, but I will tell you the changes that we are seeing favors more winter weather further to the north, and we'll go over that as we continue to move forward throughout the video. So no winter storm warnings right now, just winter weather advisories in the purple. Let's go over the latest radar, short range model that we have, which could end up being what the real-time radar ends up being. So we're going to start this off around 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you lose me as far as the time frame, just look up here because I'm probably going to fail to mention the time at some certain points. But this is going to be a quick hitting system. So we move here in time and we start to get, if we can get this in motion, come on. And then we start to move into, say, 10 p.m. tonight. I mean, just here in a few short hours, right? It's still snowing pretty heavily in eastern Kentucky, snowing all the way up here into Beckley, Charleston. Is it going to make it all the way up to you guys? If you live in Charleston, say hey. And I really hope if you're a snow fan in Charleston, it makes it to you because this area of West Virginia can get kind of hoodooed when it comes to winter weather, sort of a lower elevation area. But anyways, let's keep moving here. The snow begins to move into southwestern sections of Virginia. And then we switch to some heavy wet snow down here in the Boone, Banner, Elk area. The latest HRRR model doesn't show much winter weather at all down here to Asheville. You know, places like Waynesville, Hendersonville, but we could definitely start off as a wintry mix. And, you know, the winter weather advisory discussion down here says you got to really be over 3,500 feet. So we'll see what happens. But it's starting off as just good old-fashioned rain in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, but it could eventually switch to snow when we get some dynamic cooling. You know, the atmosphere begins to cool down and we can switch from heavy rain to maybe a burst of heavy snow. But it's snowing in Roanoke. Let's move a little bit closer. Snowing in Lynchburg. Could start out as a little rain in these areas. Blacksburg, heavy snow. Let's make this a little bit wider again, and we continue to move until about 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, and the system continues. And you can see the rain-snow line begins to drop a little bit further to the south, down into the Greensboro, Winston-Salem area. Raleigh-Durham, just rain. Danville, it's now snowing. Richmond, it's now snowing. Petersburg, snowing. Charlottesville, Fredericksburg, snow's getting all the way up to the D.C. area. Winchester now. Still snowing back here a little bit here in eastern Kentucky. Will it switch to a period of snow in like the Tri-Cities area, Johnson City? Bristol, I think, will get a little snow from this. I mean, and I will mention, let's go back here. Don't want to completely leave our friends out here in Tennessee. There's still some winter weather falling, and around 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning tonight here in Middle Tennessee could still be dealing with a light wintry mix. But the core of the system has since moved into the mid-Atlantic. And we continue to move this forward, and we take it to about 5 o'clock. Sun still has not came up yet. More so a wintry, icy mix. This is when I think we could deal with some freezing rain in the Boone, Banner, Elk area. So I might get a quick inch or two of snow and then a coating of ice. Still snowing in Richmond, Petersburg. Will you switch to snow in Norfolk or Chesapeake or just the Hampton Roads area? We have to watch that rain-snow line and kind of where it sleet's falling to. It's just north of the Rocky Mount, Durham, Raleigh area. How far south will this drop? So the common theme, the trend that we are seeing is this system has trended so fast that the cold air really hasn't had a lot of time to really work in, because kind of cold air is coming in place at the same time. So it's kind of outrunning the cold air source trying to come in. So moisture's kind of winning, but cold air is sort of losing for the southern areas. Plenty cold once you get into Virginia. But, you know, we get into 5 o'clock in the morning. It's now snowing in Baltimore. Washington, it's snowing. Across all of southern Maryland, the Tidewater area, Salisbury, you're getting snow. Dover, it's now snowing. Snow's getting all the way up to Atlantic City on the latest HRRR model run. And then we continue to get to about 8 o'clock. Still snow flying throughout southern areas of West Virginia. Virginia, it's still snowing in Richmond. And then we get all the way to about 10 a.m. and we still got a wintry mix ongoing in certain areas, but the blue is still snow. So for certain areas, it'll be snowing for several hours. This is 10 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow morning, it's snowing all the way up into areas of Philadelphia, Wilmington, Dover. And we actually, let's see if we have the latest run here. Yeah, it continues to trend north. Like this is the run at 8 a.m. for the current run. Then we look at 8 a.m. for the past run. And I just think that we're getting a little tick north. You see that little nudge north that we had here? So I want to continue to watch it. If we go back and we look at the 18Z, not a whole lot different, but we do keep this going here just so we can finish the life of this system, and it never really gets up to Long Island. So that's the system. Let's go over forecast snow amounts, the latest we're going to update some of these graphics because I do want to get the latest and greatest information, and I don't think it changed at all. But this is Eastern Kentucky, 1 to 2 inches in Hazard, Pikeville, 1 to 3 inches, Black Mountain, 2 to 4, Harlan, 1 to 2 inches. Middlesboro, 1 to 2 inches, and I think we could get a little bit of light snow in the Cumberland Plateau, and in fact, I'm going to actually look at this on the fly here because I meant to pull this up. Let's see if I have it memorized. I think it's OKX. I think that's the Nashville. No, that's wrong. So that stinks. I was going to try to pull up Middle Tennessee there, but I do think some light snowfall accumulations. You know what? I can't leave you guys hanging. I got to pull it up. It just tears my nerves up too much. Let's go look at this. And let's look at snow. So yeah, I mean, there's a few tenths of an inch of snow forecast for areas of like the northern Cumberland Plateau in Tennessee and north of Knoxville. So you see this kind of grayed out areas where we can get a few tenths of an inch of snow, half an inch of snow. Maybe someone can sneak and get an inch, but it's likely going to be under an inch. All right, so we go back to the Greenville-Spartanburg area. Let's see if we got a new updated graphic with this. We do not. So going for a few tenths of an inch of snow here in Hickory, Lenoir, Marion, Burnsville, maybe an inch in Newland. And I do think there is some freezing rain possibilities here. In these orange areas where over a tenth of an inch of freezing rain could fall. So just watch out for some freezing rain in areas of western and southwestern North Carolina, these favorite areas. But then we take it on up here and let's see if we got an updated graphic. I'm sorry I keep changing. Yeah, we do. So I'm glad I did that. It looks like they bumped up the totals, I think. I don't remember what the last one just showed. But Roanoke now up to 3 to 5 inches of snow. Lynchburg closer to 4. Lexington 4 inches. Charlottesville 3 inches. This is getting a little bit closer to winter storm warning criteria type stuff. Okay, Lewisburg 4 to 5 inches now. Mount Airy 1 to 2 inches. Wytheville, you guys correct me. Is that the way how you say it? Wytheville, 3 inches of snow. Boone about 1.5 inches. Bristol about 0.8 of an inch of snow. Johnson City not calling for anything. Danville 1 inch or 2. Martinsville 2 to 3 inches of snow, and this could fall in a hurry, guys. But this is the latest graphic. No ice really expected in this area. Latest from West Virginia. Let's update this. And Not a whole lot's changed. Beckley, 3 inches. Charleston, man, you're cold enough, guys. Let's see how far north this band can get. Going for 6/10 of an inch of snow. Logan, 1.5 inches. And Grundy, 3 inches of snow. Snowshoe, about 2.5 inches. All right, and then we take a look at the Raleigh-Durham area. Right now, going for around 2/10 of an inch of snow in Durham. Burlington, about 1/2 inch. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, about 1/2 inch of snow. Roxborough, going for over an inch. I think this is kind of aggressive in this area, so we'll watch. And then we take a look, and let's update this graphic, see what we got. This is an area where they're being bullish, and I think it could snow for several hours in this area. But Farmville, 3 inches. Richmond, 3 inches. Petersburg, 2 to 3 inches. Williamsburg, 2 inches. Norfolk and the Hamptons Road area, I think you're going to stay mainly rain. I hate to be the bearer of bad news if you're a winter weather fan, but South Hill, 2.5 inches of snow. Okomack, hopefully I said that right, 1 inch or 2 of snow. Salisbury, around 1 inch. Cambridge, inch of snow. So this is going to be a nice event for this area. And then we take a look up the road. Let's update this graphic too. Sorry I keep doing this. I just want to make sure I get you guys fresh information. Washington, the Baltimore area, I think we could get 1/2 inch to 1 inch of snow, especially if we continue to trend north. I think that these totals up here have the potential to get bumped up to over an inch. Fredericksburg, 2.5 inches. Lexington Park, 2 inches. And here's many other areas too. And then we go up the road into the New Jersey National Weather Service area. You know, Milford could get an inch. I could see, I'm going to draw on this. I could see this area overachieving. Okay, if we can get a band of light to moderate snow that moves into this region, somebody could sneak and get 1 inch of snow. Okay, so we'll continue to figure this one out. But I mean, it's crazy. You go back to this, and some of these areas are going to get several hours of snow. I want to go back and look at this. For example, in Richmond. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe as much as 11 hours of snow. I mean, someone is going to overachieve as far as their snowfall totals. I just really think they are. So let's go over the latest Euro. What else are we seeing as we move down the road? And we don't have enough of this one. Oof. Yeah, that looks different there. All right, let's focus here. Let's go back. Okay. What is next after this storm system? We're going to start this off Sunday morning. There's going to be a pretty aggressive clipper diving down out of the Midwest. You see these darker blues. This is some heavy snow. On the warmer side of this, you're going to get mainly rain. But this dives in, and then we're probably going to get some light, moderate snow across the Ohio Valley Sunday evening into the Northeast. Too warm for any of that to the south. And then we start to get into about Monday morning. There's some energy trying to connect here. Okay, and you see some splotches of blue. This is some light snow down here as far south as Tennessee, even northern Georgia. And we got kind of a chilly rain. Cold air is moving in place. There's some energy trying to connect here, some digging going on, but nothing ever does. And then we start to move into Tuesday. Another clipper moves through the Great Lakes region, brings more snow into the Northeast. And then another clipper dives in with a trough. This could bring some moderate heavy snow. I am begging this to dig a little bit more to bring me some snow in the mountains. I'm going to the mountains next Wednesday through Sunday. But it does bring some moisture all the way down to the mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee in the form of just some northwest flow stuff. And then another clipper dives in next Thursday around this time. Looks aggressive. All this stuff has the possibility of trending a little bit more to the south of this trough, and this energy digs more to the south. But the common theme that you're seeing with this is a lot of northern stream energy. No huge storm systems. But I do want to look at the 18Z that I just showed you. I teased you out here in a second ago. Looking at Sunday morning. Watch how something is going on here Monday morning. There's some energy digging. Something is trying to connect here. Some light snow across Kentucky Monday morning. And ooh, look at that. That's new. That's probably going to get people in North Carolina chattering in the weather forums. But there's something connecting here. Some snow breaks out across areas of North Carolina, and there's some dots trying to connect here. Show some light snow in eastern areas of North Carolina. There's some phasing of energy trying to get going, and that's why early next week continues to be there, just not. It's just there. We got to figure it out over the next couple of days, right? Something is there, right? So the GFS continues to kind of go away from it. There's that aggressive clipper, probably going to bring some a moderate snowfall accumulations across the Midwest later this weekend into late Sunday night. And I mean, that shows some heavy snow. Now, the GFS wants to connect the dots here and turn this to an all-out snowstorm Sunday night and a Monday morning across the Northeast. So we're going to watch this. This is under 100 hours too. Shows a little bit of snow down the central to southern Appalachian Mountains, but no dots connect like the Euro does, right? And then what happens after that? We get into Tuesday. We get into Wednesday. Here comes another chungus of a clipper right here diving in. And that's a 980-ish Northern Stream clipper. That's pretty aggressive. And we get all kinds of energy showing up across the eastern U.S. kind of Thursday morning of next week. And then here comes some more energy diving in, and it actually tries to connect some dots here, next Friday, the 12th. And we got some light, moderate snow around the mid-Atlantic. There's just a lot going on between now and the next 7 to 10 days, but there's nothing huge showing up on our radar. There's no flashy runs, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So as far as the this is actually, let's move this in 12 hour. This is the 12-hour ensemble kind of periods of snow. Okay, so you're going to see the signal. Here comes that first clipper diving in, shows a little tease at snow, kind of dropping down to the upper southeast and the mid-Atlantic. And then we move forward. There's that big clipper Tuesday kind of diving across the Great Lakes and the Northeast. And then what happens after that? Everything's kind of scattered. Okay, there's kind of a snow line dropping all the way down to Tennessee, North Carolina, Northeast getting theirs. And I think that's the sign of a big trough that's going to dive in, a lot of energy associated with it, but that doesn't mean energy is going to connect for a bigger storm system. And if we look at what's going on between this weekend and about 7 days after, see the blue, this is lower pressure. There's energy associated with this, and this normally brings cold air. It's a dip in the jet diving across the central and the eastern U.S., and this is a spiking of the ridge in the warmer colors. So we continue to move forward. We get this energy that swings in and out early next week, and then we get a reinforcing shot of cold air for the northern sections of the country, but this will bring some cold air down into the southeast too. But you can see that trough, the greenish area, it's really kind of pivoting over the Great Lakes in the northeast. This tells me that, you're probably going to get a lot of energy kind of diving in through this area, which supports exactly what we just showed you guys. Stuff really ain't going to dive down here in the pattern like this. Okay, but as you continue to move into later next week, you see this big lobe right here. It digs more. So there's going to be an opportunity as we stop it here. This is next Thursday, a week from today. It's going to be an opportunity for some more energy to dig a little bit further. So can something sneaky happen in this time frame here, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of next week, as a big dip in the trough and the jet occurs over the eastern U.S. And you can see it here. Here's those dots. Let's back it up a little bit. There's that energy we want to watch for late weekend to early next week, all right? Something's digging here. And what we just showed you on the 18Z Euro, it showed what could happen. And then everything else kind of begins to start screaming out of this direction. Watch as I get this back in motion. Okay? But then as we're getting into late next week, around this time, you're going to have some energy that has an opportunity to dig further south, with a trough digging down more aggressively to the south. So that could open up the door for maybe something to connect. It just looks like the subtropical jet, the southern stream, looks pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of energy to kind of be picked up by the aggressive northern stream right now. So regardless, reinforcing shots of cold air on the way. Okay, so this is getting into Monday. You can see those Barney colors showing up. Those are like 20, 25 degree below average temperatures for your specific area in this area. So if your average high is, I'm just speaking on anywhere, if your average high is 45 degrees and you end up getting 20 degrees below average for high temperatures, then you're going to have temperatures in the 20s for highs. So, but you keep going. Below average temperatures stick around, and then the atmosphere might modify a little bit, and then you have that big dip in the jet once again late next week and the next weekend, which I think will be the big time frame of interest going forward that reinforces the cold air. And then, listen, even after 10 days, guys, I mean, the cold air sticks around, and then another reinforcing shot at the very end shows up, which fits the very end of the ensemble run. It looks like a ridge tries to flex here, and everybody's been chattering about this. We're gonna have a mid-month warm-up? I would say not so fast. I mean, that ridge doesn't even really build over the southeast anymore, the eastern U.S. Here comes another trough, digging down right behind it. I'm telling you, model guidance will continue to adjust cold because of the MJO progression. But if you look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, this runs from the 10th through the 14th, issued today, still going for below average temperatures in the blue. Okay? But it looks dry. Okay? It looks dry for the southern tier of the country, and the northern tier looks to have a clipper fest. Okay? We go to the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, 12th through the 18th. I mean, we're getting deeper into December now. Still going with below average temperatures in the blue area. The deeper that blue, the more darker that blue is, the more higher confidence that they have that we'll get below average temperatures. And it looks a little bit more it's buckling a little bit more, but for the most part, it looks like the northern areas of the country stay with more precipitation. The lower areas stay with a little bit less precipitation, but all this could change, guys. It could change fast. So that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the snow that you get tonight into tomorrow. It's definitely going to be a festive, beautiful snow. It's not going to be a crippling snowstorm by any means. And I don't know how anybody can complain about 2 to 4 inches of snow, say in Virginia in early December on a Friday. I mean, go on and order you pizza if you live in like Roanoke or something like that. I mean, I would just be so excited. So hopefully our time is coming for the Deep South. I have high confidence it is. We just got to continue to wait. Please remember that it's only December the 4th, guys. Only December the 4th. That's it. So have a good one. You guys have a wonderful night. God bless, and we'll talk soon.